Welcome back, everyone. Let's face it, I don't know about you, but you have intellectual curiosity, so you're checking the news out and you're trying to get information on things. And it's one headline that's repeated, repeated, repeated. Well, what about the phrase putting knowledge to work? How about that one? And then think about where that might have its focus. How about the focus is on innovation, action, and impact? Well, what I just did, by the way, was just read part of a mission statement for CCE, the Cornell Cooperative Extension, an absolutely incredible organization. And joining me today is an educator in the agricultural department. Hope I said that right, Nicolina. This is Nicolina Foti. So hello, welcome back, by the way.
Yes, thank you for having me back. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Nicolina, there are very few organizations like CCE. CCE is present in every county in New York State. And a lot of people, Cornell Cooperative Extension, I heard that. A lot of us associated immediately with the 4-H program because they're integrally involved with 4-H. And I participated in that. That shows you how far ago 4-H started. At any rate, let's move on. Just give us that sort of 30,000-foot view, if you would, about the extension, and why it exists, and what it wants to accomplish.
So extension, as you mentioned, there's one in every county, just about. And the beauty of extension is every extension office is going to look very different because it's based on the needs of that community and the county in which it's in. So if you go down to Schenectady County, they have a really awesome extension program down there, but it's going to look a little different than us. We're a little bit more ag based, so we have a few more ag people. But yeah, so extension, the reason we're here is to provide research-based information for the general public. And we do everything from 4-H programs to Alive at 25, food and nutrition, environmental and invasive species, all the way down to agriculture and helping farmers and youth in agriculture. So we do a lot of everything, which makes it a lot of fun.
Oh, without a doubt. I think I might have this right. I think it was founded in like 1914 or something like that, right? Way back when, even before my time.
Yeah, through the land grant college system, and that's why Cornell ended up being our land grant college for New York State, and that's why we are the cooperative extension of Cornell.
And you're talking about diversity because I was looking up at some of the programs that you're doing, and of course, agricultural-based programs, education-based programs, diversity programs, programs with veterans and whatever. But when you just said, I want to cycle back, you just said, it's kind of tuned in to the area that the offices throughout New York State might be. And I grew up on the eastern end of Long Island, and right now you're doing one on saving shellfish.
Yes.
I mean, that's how diverse it gets. And I saw that and I thought, great. I grew up out there, and it's a real part of the ecosystem.
Oh, absolutely. And it's cool. Like you go down into a little bit more developed areas, they do a lot of like urban agriculture and urban farming. And we do some of that here, but you don't see it as much because we're working more with much larger production and producers. So it is very cool how much extension does.
Yeah, it sure is. Now, let's take Saratoga County, right? No question that the equine industry is a major, major driver in Saratoga. And also not surprising, CCE is involved with educational programs regarding the equine industry. You've got something coming up called the Horse Farm Tour, which I just find fascinating. So tell us about it.
So the Horse Farm Tour this year for 2023 is on August 26th. And we have 2 farms participating this year, Mill Creek Farm, which is a thoroughbred, and they also have standardbred breeding farm. And then we have Cross Timbers Ranch, and that is a privately owned facility that is composed of boarders and horses that are all privately owned by individual owners. And then the owners themselves have a string of horses there. So we have 2 different farms that are very different and in 2 different worlds of the equine industry. Mill Creek is really great in that they are a breeding facility for thoroughbreds and standardbreds, which we will see here racing in Saratoga at both our harness and our flat track. And then we have Cross Timbers, which is a great representation of a lot of farms that we all see that are owned by people, and then all the horses there have their own owners, and they board at these facilities. And the equine industry is one of the largest economic drivers here in Saratoga County. So we love to have this event to let people kind of come into our world and ask us questions and see things and understand and appreciate the land around us and all these farms and the people that work really hard to keep the landscape the way that it is and keep these industries running.
That's really well said, Nicolina. We tend to think sometimes that the whole world revolves around getting dressed up and going to the track, and it's all about the
Yeah.
big social aspect. And of course it is, and that's part of the economic driver and whatever. But what you're talking about is peeling the curtain back, going close up, seeing what's behind the curtain. Smell the action. There's just so many aspects to it. And I'm probably answering this question for you, but why would a tour like this be important? Why do you think it's important?
So the equine industry, especially here locally in Saratoga, gets a huge spotlight on it when August rolls around, right? The track opens up, everyone's excited. And there are things that we see that, we don't always like. There's always breakdowns on the track, and people ask a lot of questions. And the biggest thing is that I don't think, even myself, I grew up born and raised here, and I grew up with horses in the equine industry. Until I really started working in it, I didn't understand the thousands of horses that come through just the Saratoga racetrack alone for every season, just for one meet. There are thousands of horses from April until November that come through this area. So Mill Creek Farm is a beautiful representation of the thoroughbred and the standardbred industry. But, the highlights of racing season come and go, and they're still here. They're still taking care of, they're still feeding. Come January will roll around, and there will be pretty much no sleep until about April or May, because they'll be delivering babies every night and being on full watch. So that's one side of our equine industry. And then on the other side, we have Cross Timbers, and these are people like you and I that own property and put up a barn and wanted other horse owners to come in. And they're a little bit more Western and of the rodeo side of stuff. And that industry is huge here. People don't realize they, got to go out west to all these big Western and ranch rodeo events. And we have quite a few here in the Northeast and quite a few around this area that are known across, even out west, for the quality that they put on. So it's really cool that we get to see this. And again, these are our neighbors. These are the people among us in our community that, because of their interests, hold these pieces of property that get to be open spaces that we get to drive by and appreciate. So we get to kind of come into our world a little bit and see it. So it's cool.
You just reminded me, I've been to a couple of different horse farms. I've been to some rodeos and whatever. You're right. The spotlight is usually on the thoroughbreds in Saratoga, the Saratoga meet, but go a little past Lake Luzerne. Go out there, go out towards Schuylerville, and of course there are wonderful programs, and we've done interviews on this, Nicolina, of the relationship between horses and humans and the healing power of those relationships. And then you think about veterans, you think about people that need some emotional support, and to watch it actually take place. And I know you've seen it, but to people like myself that only occasionally get to see it, it's absolutely remarkable. That brings me to one other thing. I mentioned the 4-H because I've always been in love with the 4-H programs made possible by CCE. You also have a 4-H horse program, right?
Yes, we do. So we have a 4-H horse program that I'm very proud to say that I did at ages 8 through 18 right here in Saratoga County. So coming back to Extension was very much like coming home to me. But it's a wonderful program that the youth get to be a part of, and 4-H as a whole is great. But if you have a young kid between the ages of 8 and 18 that's interested in horses, we explore all different types of things. So if they don't have a horse, but they're really interested, for example, we're doing a tour here at the end of the month. I'm taking a group of 4-H kids to the UVM Morgan Horse Farm in Vermont. It's historically where the breed was developed. So there's a lot of history there. So the kids get to go get a little history lesson, meet some really cool horses, but it's also partnered with the University of Vermont and the college. So this is something where the kids can go, well, maybe I want to do an internship here. Maybe I want to go to school here. What can I learn? We really like to take these kids and expose them to all different aspects of the equine industry, I tell them, I was like, if you guys are interested in something, tell me and we'll do it. Let's find something cool and dive down that rabbit hole. And I think that's what's really great about it. And I got to have these experiences when I was a kid, and here I am now. I'm an adult, or at least that's what they tell me I am. And right, I forget sometimes because I'm having so much fun with the kids, but I get to go and I had these experiences, and now I get to take these kids and they get to see it. And some of them are now vets in the community. They're, veterinarians, and they're chiropractors, and they're, equine dentists, and they're farm owners and managers, and they've become um, pillars of our community. That is really great to see. And it started from their experiences here in 4-H.
Oh, you're cycling right back. I love to listen to you talk about that.
Oh, thank you.
You feel very passionate about it, and I get it. I mean, the exposure for young adults, let's call them children, call them what you will, just to be able to experience it. And you're right, they experience it, it stays with them, and it helps mold them. And hence innovation, action, and impact, right? I mean, we kind of cycle back to that. It's just spectacular. I want our viewers will see a web address on the bottom of the screen. Please go there, find out about these tours, find out about what CCE is doing in our community. It's all over the place and affects so many of our people who live here, and it's putting knowledge to work. It just doesn't get any better than that. One last time, when is the horse tour? I want to make sure they know.
So it is Saturday, August 26th from noon until 4 p.m.
Good. Go to the website and they can find out how to sign up or whatever they need to do.
Yep, there's no sign up for this event. It is a free drive it yourself tour. So you can go on the website, and there will be the 2 locations that will be open for our farm tour. And you can visit one or both of the places from between the hours of noon and 4 p.m. on Saturday, August 26th. And you can ask questions and meet the horses and get to know, all of us here in the equine industry.
Wow. And to our viewers out there who are thinking, oh, I don't know much about horses, get up close to a horse and you'll learn not only a lot about them, you'll also learn a lot about yourself. They communicate in ways that are insanely interesting. Let's leave it at that. Thank you, Nicolina, for taking the time and tell us about this. And we'll see you at that tour. I gotta go.
Absolutely.
I gotta see that. I gotta see what's going on. Okay, well, good. Well, thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely. And you have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.